Hey guys, we just got back from Alita Battle Angel. What'd you guys think?
The CGI was spectacular.
Wow.
The acting was good. But once you got to the story.
And writing and the lines.
And dialogue. And the most... Okay, guys, let me break it down like this. I was very excited about Alita Battle Angel. Not because I have watched the original anime. I have not. I'm coming in with fresh eyes. What about y'all? Have y'all seen the original?
Same.
No? Okay.
No.
So we're actually all fresh here. So I have never been more willing to want to be, into the movie. We have a movie from people I respect. James Cameron, screenwriter. Robert Rodriguez, Austin, Texas, baby.
My girlfriend.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer-
My favorite part of the whole
Somebody's
movie.
Gonna bring
I
up,
love
her. Man.
Somebody was going to bring
I
up
love
Jennifer
her.
Connelly. Okay. But unfortunately, as much as I really, really wanted to like the film, I just couldn't. It was so melodramatic. It was so exposition heavy. Does James Cameron have no fucking idea how to write a script? Wow, what a bombastic statement from Angry Joe. How dare he? You're such a shitty critic,
I'm
Joe.
right there with you.
You
man.
are.
Yeah. The story was just like you knew everything that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Everything was just so like, all right, let's just get this over with.
I loved the beginning. It starts very well. Okay. Christopher Waltz is this doctor. He's a scrapper. He finds Alita amongst the scrap, and he takes her under his wing. And you've seen this in the trailer. It's like he's his it's his daughter. And the movie starts quite well. And he's like, don't go too far off. And we're getting little bits and pieces of the world. Whoa, look at this city up in the air. Zizophone, something like that, right? And it's a fascinating world. But I think at some point the movie completely loses me, and it could never get me back because it was just beating me over the head with the stupidest dialogue, the stupidest random pointless speeches. I think that's where it lost me.
I told you when the trailer first came out months ago that when you have this...
You predicted
this
this?
dopey idiot looking at a robot girl saying, "You're the most human being I've ever seen in my entire life." And
I was like, oh my God, please let that be just a small, tiny little...
Nope.
Everything
I was
that
like,
idiot said the
yeah.
entire time. And he was actually pretty good.
No, he was not good.
Well, there
not
was-
to me.
There were parts where...
I felt that this movie was derailed by the love story.
Oh,
if
yeah,
they
yeah.
would have focused on Alita, her battle
yes,
prowess
yes,
and the
but
war.
instead we
and-
get some fucking stupid
Teenage-
Twilight bullshit.
Yes, but it's really
But they're
bad.
in love. But they're in love.
No,
Yeah,
they're
Twilight.
not.
They're in love.
That was the
Oh,
one part
God.
of the film, many parts of the
Can
film.
a human love a cyborg?
Okay, so we're back. My camera shut off, and I can hear you chewing on the gummy
This
bears.
is the
Could you
best
fucking
part about this
just
whole
shut-
movie.
Shut up.
Haribo, I love
Okay,
you.
What I was gonna say is that the visuals are amazing. I wasn't bothered. This is as close to a live action anime as we're going to get. The world really.
That's not a good thing because this
No,
was
it's a good
really
thing.
bad. Oh, you mean
no.
visually
No,
speaking?
no. Visually speaking,
Oh, okay.
everything worked for me.
And I agree
and
with
that's
you there.
why
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why it makes me so mad that they couldn't get the dialogue right and the story right and the pacing right, because everything that you're looking at deserves this higher level of filmmaking, and it's just not there.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
totally
goes
agree
on.
with you because like visually was spectacular. That was great. Once I saw like the story, whatever, if they want to call it a story, that's when it really started falling.
Right.
The other problem I had is this movie was so heavily advertised. We saw this trailer a lot. Like a lot. And all of the best parts of the trailer.
We were invited out to, I think, New Zealand to go and check it out. We just didn't have the time. And there are so many different marketing opportunities here in Austin. They have the Alita Battle Experience.
Ugh.
You can't watch the film, but you go and do this VR experience. This is a marketing storm for the film.
Well, they need it because the movie's not very good.
Unfortunately, it just does not hold your attention in the story department. Now, is general moviegoers. Now, remember, we're critics. Do you think general moviegoers will like this?
No, honestly, I do not, because the story is not very compelling. They're just like, all right, yeah, this looks cool, but like, I'm not
What
interested in
story,
it.
though?
You think people need that story?
Yeah, they need something to grasp onto. It's like,
And
I
then-
like this character,
Well,
but there's
Transformers would disagree with you, Joe. Okay.
there's not really a lot of people like you could kind of like look up to. And it's like, all right, this one, cool.
Right, exactly.
Maybe I could.
Okay, what stood out? Give me a part that stood out.
I like when she kicked people to death, which was the same scenes we saw in the trailer. Those
Yeah.
were really cool.
The fight scenes.
The fight
That's
scenes
about
is what
it.
stood out, and you saw most of those in the trailer. At one point, the bad guy literally goes into a locker room and he says, "You are the bad guys." I swear to God, he's like, "You are the bad guys. I need you to kill her." And this is the third or fourth time he's asking various people to go kill Alita. And over, these same people are failing over and over. And he goes, "Now you will kill her. I need her dead. I want her
Your
dead."
problem is you didn't have enough beers because by that time I checked out completely.
No, I can
because
tell
this movie
y'all.
is,
I can
is
tell y'all have beer.
It is
beers.
so stupid. They have her cornered, or they know exactly where she is. Literally the entire movie. They're like, "Oh, she's at the doctor's office." It's like, "Well, with guards?" No, she's just at the doctor's office. It's like, we have 300 years of. She's 300 years old. Spoilers, and they have. Like 300 years of technology up in like Sky Palace or whatever place that they're at, and they could just surround the place and just kill her at any point in the movie. But they're like, "We're gonna send everyone in one at a time, just one at a time though, because
That's how it goes.
yeah, you
And
have
we're
to."
gonna and this everybody tries to kill her the entire film, and the film just goes off the rails. And it's a shame because the world itself is interesting. I kind of do still want to know what's up there in that city. They built that city up quite nicely. I want to visit that city. I want to see these different things. What interested me so much more than Murder Ball and fucking teenage romance that didn't work was this war and the clashing of cultures and the underbelly of the city and the hierarchy, all that kind of stuff, and the cyborgs and the hunter killers.
You mean the stuff that
is
we got
way
nothing?
more
See,
interesting.
yeah,
we
that's
got
what
none
I-
of that though.
War
That's
and the,
what I was
on the-
telling Alex too.
Yeah.
Like the world building on this, I think is better than
Mortal Engines.
Mortal Engines,
I was
yeah.
like, I wanted to see more. Of this
There was
one.
more
This was
story to
like-
Mortal Engines
It's
than
more
this.
compelling on that one.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's about
The
it.
dialogue was just as bad. It was just as pretty. Mortal
Yeah.
Engines was really, really pretty.
No, this one was better in terms of visuals than Mortal Engines. This is
I
some
think
of the best
so.
This is some of the best 3D because I think Alita is literally she is 100% a 3D render. Now obviously there's motion capture, so she had a real actress doing stuff and from time to time, but she's literally like a golem, where you have to act like they're and
Same
then
big eyes.
Just she's not Golem. I was gonna use Jar Jar Binks.
No,
Oh,
fuck
how
that.
dare you.
Don't you dare bring him up.
All right, but they do a really good job, technically, visually, is what we're trying to get across.
Well, they spent
So-
all of the
all right.
budget on that and none on the writing.
Exactly. So you get the gist of it. It is visually impressive. The dialogue is it is a disaster. It is the most melodramatic. It is the very definition of that. And people say, why, if you ever wonder why critics are bash on things or get a little hard on things, just listen to the dialogue in this film and how many times she just makes pointless speeches and it just.
Oh, it was so bad. What do you?
We're going to go to
hard
final verdict.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii for dialogue or this? Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
He's
Okay,
talking about
so-
a Z-grade movie. Anyway.
You want to take it?
Oh, so the problem with this movie is there are parts of this movie that are like 7s, 8s, and even approaching 9s. And then there are parts that are 2s and 3s. And I really like the battle sequences. I didn't like the murder ball. It was kind of stupid. There was a couple of scenes that were cool, but we saw them in the trailers. The bar fight was excellent. I think the parts that we could actually see what was going on, I really enjoyed. The problem is the best parts of the bar fight also in the trailer.
Yep.
The alley fight. Best part of the alley fight we also saw in the trailer. So I really, really like those. And then when we got outside of those scenes, we get more story and dialogue, which just like starts tanking the score. That's where this movie's at like a 2 or a 3. It was laughable. People around us were laughing when he looked at her. You're the
Are you
most
sure that wasn't
human.
just me? Because I was laughing.
Well, yeah. But I mean,
other
we know,
people-
when we left
we
the-
know you laugh.
yeah, we know your laugh. This random stranger leaving the theater, when we were talking about that line, she was like loudly talking to her boyfriend. I wanted to curl up and die.
It was
So
really
it was
That was
really, really bad. So this movie has some high points and some really low points. And so I want to end up somewhere in average, but I know what their vision is, and I know what the budget for this thing is, and they should have been able.
huge.
Yeah, they should have been able to have someone fix the script. So this, for me,
Nobody could tell James Cameron no.
nothing had nothing to do with this movie. This movie for me is a 4. It is below average. It's not terrible, but it's not a good film. It's not something I'm going to tell anyone to go out and see. This is my favorite part of the whole experience tonight.
Damn. Okay, Joe.
For me, it's gonna be a 5 because everything was like just average. The CGI and everything was like up here, but the story and the dialogue and everything was so predictable. It brought everything else down. I got like Twilight thing. Like I was like, I hate Twilight.
Vibes,
Yeah, and I hated Twilight. I was like, this is like fucking Twilight. Just very.
Did you guys have to
cringeworthy.
review it?
No, we
You
don't.
watched it for
No.
fun?
Unfortunately.
Joe has nieces
Unfortunately.
and
Yeah.
How old are they that you watched Twilight with? You watched that by yourself, didn't you?
16.
No,
I did
no.
not.
Yeah.
all right.
Anyways, the visuals were great. The battles were great, but just like everything else was like just terrible for
So
me.
it's half there. You
Yeah,
got the good action, you got the good visuals, interesting world, but bad story,
Yeah, the world
bad
building.
dialogue.
I was hoping they would do more on that, but they just focused too much on the love interest.
Yes, and that's what I want to get across here.
Yeah.
I think that ruined the film. Hugo ruined the film for me. This teenage
Yeah.
romance that just did not work. There are several emotional moments in this film that you're supposed to feel something, and
You laugh.
You
at
don't.
no point do you feel anything. And when you're taken out of the film like this several times, you're kind of punched out and you're like left out and you're sort of in a daze and you're like, oh, I can see that, it's cool,
Yeah,
but
and like-
you're not invested in it anymore. And there's so many times that's happened.
And Murder Ball honestly reminded me of, I don't know if you guys ever seen it,
Yeah.
Rollerball.
I knew it. Yeah,
Rollerball.
I'm not into that murder ball and this
Yes,
roller
it's like,
derbies.
oh my
it's
God,
not
this is
my
fucking
thing.
rollerball.
And
It's
so
so stupid.
to me, it was like pod racing in the middle. I would much rather have seen more about this Ideon, enemies. They talk about ion technology or something, this eon technology, and this war, and you get flashes of it twice in the film, and it's so short, and so like that shit is way more fascinating. And I would much rather
100%
see
agree.
something about that, and that might be what they're setting up in the future for a sequel, because they do try to sequel bait here hard, and we can talk about it in spoilers.
Hopefully that he pulls an Avatar and it takes him over 10 years to try to make a sequel, and they hire somebody who knows what they're doing.
I don't know what the hell is it. And you were saying it has nothing to do with James Cameron. James Cameron has a screenplay credit. This is James Cameron's fault on the screenplay, guys. I'm serious. And when
He's
you were
not the only
saying,
one.
why
There's
did
three.
nobody
There's-
tell?
There's 3 of them,
Oh,
right?
there is there 3.
Robert
Whatever.
Rodriguez, James
but
Cameron,
here's
and
what
someone
I'm saying.
else.
Nobody could tell him no. Because I only saw one name on there. If it's only James Cameron's name, then it must have been their fear of James Cameron. Because honestly, I would be I'd be like, no, he knows what he's
He
doing.
did Terminator 2. You
He
can't
knows
critique
what-
that.
Aliens, my favorite film of all time. That's my #1 favorite film. I love strong female characters, and Alita is the best part of this film, but she's not given anywhere near as much focus, constantly having to rescue her stupid-ass boyfriend.
Well,
It's
she
always
also
something-
immediately falls in love with any idiot
any
guy,
idiot,
and she's
it
it's just so dumb.
denigrates the character, and it focuses on a lot of stuff. And Christopher Waltz, I love him, but his role in this film, it's revealed that he was also doing something else. I don't buy it, and he looks like it's hilarious. All right, anyways. So my final verdict, I do think I liked it a little bit better than these guys. Because, okay, I know.
6? You
I
can't
was
give this a
going
6.
to give
No.
it. It is.
All
I
right,
wanted
all
to
right.
tell. Oh my God! Is it bullying? If I want to give it a 6, I'll give it a 6.
I got you for a
There's
5.
no low. There's no low high shit. This is the
We
Angry
done it
Joe
before,
Show.
but I
We
got
don't
you.
do
I got you.
wishy-washy bullshit. But it's just. If the dialogue was completely different, if you had somebody who knew what the hell they were doing,
Or a better
was writing-
story.
and the better story, right? Trying to cram too much in here, better villains. The villain that we see here, what's this? We
So
see
the villain
here
we see here is Nova. That's his
Nova,
name. That's
right?
his name.
Vector.
Nova.
No, Vector we see. We
And
never
there's
see.
a guy below him, Victor.
Vector.
Right? He sucks. Is it just barely? It's not even a villain. These villains are terrible to follow. You never feel any evil tension from them, like they're a threat at all. It's just, when do we get to the city and we never get to the city, or when do we do this and we never do this, and we just fuck around with the fucking teenage
Yeah,
romance.
there's like no climax at all. You just like plateau the
If
entire
unless
way.
you like the murder ball, Joe. That's definitely
Rollerball?
the murder ball.
Yeah, rollerball.
Rollerball. All right, guys. So that's it. We have a lot to talk about in spoilers. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Okay, welcome to the spoiler section. This Nova character that they were talking about, he is technologically advanced. He can get
He's immortal.
jack into. Is he?
Yeah, he says he's immortal.
Well, I don't know about that. He could jack.
No,
He's
he-
400 years old. He's got to be immortal.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they go attack him, and it's like 300 years after.
Okay.
So-
And it's secretly Edward Norton, but they show us it's Edward Norton in the very beginning of the film because we see
missed
him.
that.
They show him a couple times,
shit, I
but he has his
completely
little
missed that.
glasses on, and it's like
I didn't notice it was
yeah,
Edward
whenever
Norton
like,
until the
they're
end.
fighting, they see like a hologram. It's like, our mission is to destroy
But
Nova.
it's like, oh, that's
so-
Edward Norton.
It is
Yeah.
so stupid. There's so many scenes here that are just like given to you and that are talked about like they're the most monumental, epic revelations, and it's in the middle of a season of something, but it's given it to us like that, and you're expected to like.
Yeah, that's what I think they're trying to do. They're like, all right, you watch the anime, so watch this. It's like, no, you gotta
Maybe
like
that's
kind
what's
of
going
bring
on.
it down a bit for the average like moviegoers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they needed.
How
to
long
do.
was this movie? It was long.
It was long.
2.5
and
hours?
I don't know.
Probably like 2-ish.
But it culminates into her boyfriend wants to make it up to the city, and unfortunately, he jacks people's
Yeah, right from the get-go,
cybernetics.
you see
It's
that.
his secret, and you know
Everyone's got a secret in this movie. It's stupid.
It's stupid, and then
knew where it
for
was
no apparent
going.
reason, he just no. You stop jacking people, friends I've been jacking things with the whole fucking film, and at no point did I give any indication that maybe we shouldn't be doing this. But he goes over there, stops them,
This is bad. Oh, you're dead.
like they just tell him, don't. Anyways, then he gets killed by one of the hunter killers, the pretty boy hunter killer, stabs him in the chest, and you think, oh, he's dead, oh no, and then Alita comes and she's holding him and it's like, oh no, we gotta save him, and we're like, we don't give a shit, and then he fucking dies. But wait, he doesn't die.
Because Jennifer Connelly, the
Because-
angel, comes down and
All
saves.
these machines show up and they're like, give us the boy. He murdered somebody, even though it was the pretty face guy murdered somebody. Blamed it on the boy. Give us the boy. Bam, 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 little RoboCop stuff. And then finally, she comes back out and she shows, yeah, I cut his head off. And his head is right there. This movie is like, the tone is crazy because it's like you don't expect it to do some of these things, and he's fucking headless, and he's like, yeah, but really, she's got some tubes going from her heart to his fucking neck.
She's
and
keeping him alive.
She's keeping him
Ooh.
alive with her heart.
Her
Get it?
antimatter heart.
Get it? Because she
Get it?
loves him.
Well, earlier in the film, she literally is like,
She
I like
gives
you
him
so
his heart.
much, even though I met you once, you take my heart. Literally take it from my chest, and she pulls out her heart from her chest and tries to give him her
that's,
heart.
that's how
And it's
bad
like,
the
Yeah.
fucking
oh my
story
God,
is.
cringe levels 1,000,000. Anyways, but then they give him a robot body, and you're like, okay, now they can robot now because they're both robots.
That's
And
where you went with
Yeah,
that?
that's where I went with that. It's Valentine's
Did you go
Day,
there?
So they
I
had
did
to
not.
make, you know what's happening.
all
today.
right.
Okay. Anyway, so and then, but for no apparent reason, he still wants to do his dream,
And then
which is
she-
get
well,
to
at-
the city. So he's going up this fucking tube, and to
At-
get to the city.
At this point, she knows because the main bad guy has said that no one ever goes up, and then he opens the briefcase and shows that they disembodied Jennifer Connelly, the angel. They ripped her eyes
Worst
out and her
part.
brain and her hands and said,
Fuck.
no one ever goes up. And so she's like, she can be like, hey, no one ever goes up. The only way that you ever get up there, he was lying to you. You're an idiot. Stop it. But she like argues with him on this tube for a long time, and then he dies, and it was great. I loved every second of that.
The defense platform ring comes down this tube and just knocks everything off, and we saw that in a fascinating battle sequence before. But he's just running up with his little stupid skinny.
It was kind of a
body.
dumb battle
was-
sequence before.
No, no.
They mastered like
Right.
Mars to Earth
Okay.
flight,
Here we
but they're
go.
like running up a stupid tube to a sky city.
That's
It's
true.
like they probably don't need to use their
They
legs.
need to use ships to get up.
Hey
there.
everyone, let's run up this little tube thing instead of going to this
Stop
flying
being so
city.
Anyways.
smart, Alex.
Anyway, no, that's a thing you know.
This
normally
movie is so
bring up.
stupid.
All right, it's getting out of control, guys. You guys are drunk as fuck. Because you had to. There you go. So, but he falls off the fucking tube and
was so
he
good.
dies.
And it
so
was
what was the whole point of? Well, we never see him die, so probably he'll come back in the sequel as
Yeah,
some
because I didn't think
hunter-killer robot.
like he wouldn't die because like that's the same way Alita kind of came down. So
But she fell into garbage, and hopefully
he fell in the garbage.
he is garbage.
Okay.
That's the climax of the film. Watching him die, I was like, finally, I'm done.
We'll stop on that plot line. He is garbage. So somebody's going to find him in the garbage heap, but they're not going to rescue him. They're just going to step on his face. And pick
They're
up
going to do the
something
thing. It's like his human brain is garbage.
All right.
Give
me some more spoiler talk. Oh, man. We had to drink a lot of beers to get past this one.
Honestly, like, seriously, the story was so cringeworthy. The only thing I liked was the fucking battle, and
I like the guy with the dogs, the guy in the wheelchair with all the dogs. That was kind of cool.
And what really pissed me off,
Oh, yes.
they killed a fucking dog in this film for no fucking reason. I hate this shit, and I was just watching Critical talk about this in his moist meter reviews of horror movies that will manipulate people and their emotions by killing a fucking dog. And and I'm like, I hate that too. Boom! Alita Battle Angel, they do it here, and you don't fucking earn
this. The thing under her eyes, dog blood. It's dog blood under her eyes.
And then that's when the movie completely fucking lost me. I was like, what the fuck is this? So this little dog comes up to her when she's innocent and wide-eyed and has no idea she's a weapon. And she, gives it her a burrito or whatever. And then later on, when she's fucking ready to fight, the little dog comes up to her when they're going to the hunter-killer bar and manages to run into the hunter-killer bar with her. And eventually, the big bad guy, who's just this bruiser, generic piece of shit guy who loses over and over to her, comes, and we're supposed to be like, oh no, and he fucking murders the dog because the only one in the bar with the courage to stand up to him is this little dog going, rup, 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 because all the little bounty hunters didn't want to fight. So he fucking kills the dog off screen, and I was like,
she uses dog blood.
Fuck you. And it was even worse. And then she takes her dog blood and she wipes it. Like, all this happens within a matter of seconds. So you don't even have any time to soak any of it in. That's the way this film is. And then he like punches the ground. He's like, "Come to my world." And then he's in the sewers and they fight. And nobody helps her. And I'm like, where the fuck is Christopher? Where's her father and Hugo?
Yeah, like,
and then at the end they come.
Nothing good in this movie. Everything is just like subpar.
Right, except for the visuals. The visuals were good.
That's the only thing that brought it up.
Wow. Okay.
What's interesting, what I find the most interesting is a week ago, the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie was in the 30s. It was like, I think, mid-30s. And then
that's really low.
It was really low. And then this week, they did another round of early previews. And then it went up to like 59%. And I don't know what's going on with some of these Rotten Tomato critics, but this movie is not certified fresh. Like, there's nothing about this movie that's...
Well, what's even crazier is the audience rating right now is at 92.
People leaving the movie tonight, all of them were not happy.
Pissed. This is the first time I've seen this. Yeah. And I think they do this. They had the launch in UK. This thing came out a little while ago.
Really?
So I think maybe that audience is more forgiving. I don't know. Maybe they're doing fan screenings for fans of the anime.
Maybe they dubbed over Hugo.
I don't know. But it was... Unfortunately, this one doesn't work as much as we wanted it to work, guys. And
my expectations were low.
Mine too. I was thinking it was going. I wanted it to be great, and I was going to give it the benefit of the doubt everywhere. And unfortunately, that dialogue really punched me out and kept me completely out of it. Big time. So. All right, guys. Talking around in circles now. Anything else?
No, I think we pretty much
covered everything. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do you want to see a sequel?
No.
Do you want this to be a trilogy?
Honestly, like, I kind of do.
I want to see the fucking...
Just for the
world...
Just stay away from Hugo.
Yeah. Hopefully he's really dead.
Stay away from Hugo and do your own thing.
You're
Don't
like that
do-
person that's like, no, I know that so-and-so has beat me 7 times in a row, but they're going to change.
Right.
It's going to be better this time.
I swear.
And
he's a
no,
changed man.
I actually do want it to happen because the visuals were so good.
Yeah.
Completely push out James Cameron from screenwriting and get some really good screenwriters who and I bet you the next chapter of the story is more fascinating because we're going to maybe get to go up to this flying city.
Let's see like a face-off versus
Nova.
Nova.
Edward Norton.
This immortal. How do you defeat an immortal? Let's see more flashbacks into the war. And isn't it interesting? Like, how did they lose? Why did they lose? Why were they attacking the city from below?
That was a better.
That shit
story.
is all interesting. So I'd be willing to see it, but it's probably not going to happen because I mean, this is a big budget thing. I'm not sure
if
if
you
this thing can
fucking
make
bring
it back.
Hugo back, fuck you.
They'll bring him back.
All right.
Don't bring him back.
We'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye, guys. Be sure to subscribe to our show.
Yeah.
And then ding the bell.
Bam.
Yeah.
And-
grab yourself some merch. And these guys wearing it.
Yeah, we got it.
Click that link down there in the description. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And we got a lot of game reviews to get to now. And is the busiest month of February. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.